Welcome to Fuji.
This is the 2014 race.
No power, no power. Ready now, train 1.
Be careful on the raceway.
Do you know the winner?
Stay tuned.
For the fifth round of the World Endurance Championship, we stop in the vibrant city of Tokyo. It's the third continent the championship has visited and our third time here in Japan. And we make our way to Gotemba to meet a special guest who lived here for 6 years. So he's the perfect person to talk about motorsport here and introduce us to the town close to the circuit.
We are here in Gotemba, where a lot of Japanese racing team are based. And for sure, if you speak about motorsport here, everybody knows motorsport, everybody knows the Fuji Speedway, and you have a lot of car manufacturers also around, and it's a great atmosphere here about racing. I have a great feeling here, I have a great souvenir about racing, and I'm sure, Japan has been a part of my racing career in an important part. I'm sure that if I am an Audi driver now, it's also because of Japan. I think if you are open-minded, you learn a lot here about yourself and about others. You know, there's a lot of respect, and then for sure you learn a lot about it, and that's also a reason why it's much easier to share a car with drivers, with teammates afterwards, because even if you learn just a little bit about it, you get a much better person, I think.
Nipponへようこそ.
In the shadows of the spectacular Mount Fuji, the teams arrive and get ready to race at the historical track that is Fuji Speedway.
With these high-speed corners, the 100R is a really big challenge for us as a driver.
In terms of mechanical grip, it's not an easy track. The last sector is very, very complicated. You need a very strong chassis.
It's a great race track to drive, especially on the straight and sector 2. The fast part is very challenging.
It's 100% every lap, every second counts.
To be big fight with Audi. With Porsche also, I think they will be very fast.
Now let's talk about LMP2.
LMP2, P for prototype. And the P2, it's because it's not the absolutely top class of prototype, it is a customer. When some LMP1 are a majority, some manufacturer's car, there we have some privateer's cars. So it means to produce an LMP2, you have to comply with some technical regulations which are describing some bodywork dimensions, which are describing as well some safety element, some resistance of the monocoque, some driver visibility, everything coming in terms of safety. From the LMP1, you have some lifting devices to permit to lift the car in case of problem on the circuit. You have all this mandatory requirement on the bodywork to make the car as stable as possible. And it means the challenge for an LMP2 manufacturer is to produce an efficient car at a reasonable price, but the true potential from the bodywork, from all the aerodynamic of the car, it permits really to show the skills of drivers, and it can permit to show them how strong they are and to eventually go higher in a LMP1. So the intention there is to have some strong and reasonably affordable cars.
And now the race.
The fans in Japan are loyal and arrived at the track in plenty of time to ensure they could witness the best of the action of the 6 hours of the World Endurance Championship here in Fuji. Among the fans were 1,500 children from local schools, invited to attend as VIPs and join press conferences, assemble on the grid for a photo and meet some of the drivers. Of course, it's not just the children who were excited, as the adults too got to enjoy the buzz of the pit lane and autograph sessions laid on by the organisation. This is a unique opportunity for fans to get to the heart of the action, and here in Fuji, the friendly and vibrant atmosphere has rubbed off on the drivers too.
The fans are really different here. I mean, probably have some footage. There's so many around already on the free practice days. Some people come with some model cars for me to sign, and they have more model cars of myself than I have at home. And they're so enthusiastic and like motorsport, have a lot of knowledge, and they're very enjoyable being here.
They're very fanatic and they like to get their autographs, but they're very respectful, and it's a very high civilization level here in Japan. So they're all well behaved, and they like to stand in line and get their autograph, and they have pleasure by this.
The grid girls this weekend are in authentic Japanese dress, and unusually there were 2 organised autograph sessions for the hungry fans, although the drivers just seem to enjoy the attention.
Fans are fantastic. I love coming to Japan.
I like Japanese race. Yeah, I'm very excited.
I love Japan.
Keiko Aihara and Kazuki Nakajima are the 2 local drivers, but the fans' support and admiration spreads to all the competitors here, and they have many items of memorabilia they want signed. As always, the drivers enjoy playing host and entertaining their public. The Grand Marshal in Fuji is Henri Pescarolo, and he explained what that role meant.
It's a good way to prove that the World Championship is a long story, you know, and to have at the same time driver like me who won 4 times Le Mans, who won 22 races in the World Championship, with new drivers, to prove that there is only one championship, which is the World Endurance Championship.
From the paddock to the grid, and the drivers showed their support and love for fellow driver Jules Bianchi. Cue the cars and the VIPs, who were on the grid prior to the start of the race. Here in Fuji, Nissan are here to familiarise themselves with the grid. And former drivers are here to enjoy a day out.
There are many strong cars, and there are Toyota, Audi, Porsche, another team. I think it's a very exciting race.
WEC is a fantastic category now. It's growing so much, and I've been experiencing it 2 years ago, and it's great. You know, any opportunity I'll come back, and for today I'll just enjoy the race.
Aston Martin had a fantastic race at the previous round in Austin. Pedro Lamy starts the number 98 Aston, and for them, tyre choice is crucial here, with the temperatures today cooler than it has been.
We have a hard compound tires, then it will be tough the first laps because it's really cold comparing to yesterday and the day before. So we'll see how the other people manage the tires, which tires they have, and 6 hours long race. Hopefully we have a good rhythm.
The number 51 Ferrari pairing of Jimmy Bruni and Toli Villander didn't perform as well as they would have hoped in qualifying. They are strong championship contenders and hope to turn that performance around in the race ahead. Bruni will take the wheel for the first stint.
What is our strong point is all together. We want good pit stop, good start of the race from Jimmy, good driver change, good out in lap, which can be a couple of seconds difference. And like battle with Porsche, it will be a battle of seconds. So we just need a trouble-free race, and that's the key point.
The number 92 Porsche of Makowiecki and Pile also had a torrid qualifying, and things were tense in the Mante team. They too are unsure as what to expect from the performance of the tyres in this cooling climate.
It's quite difficult here. It's a big performance for 1 or 2 laps. Then it's quite a big drop. So we don't have real experience about 40 laps in a row with the tires. So we will see what happened in the first stint and the first 2 stints especially.
To the Aston Martin GTE Pro entry of Alex McDowell, Daryl O'Young and Fernando Rees, and the trio know they have good pace. And this is the first time that they've been on pole. So are they confident they can use the pace and position to their advantage over the next 6 hours?
We knew we were fast. We were in Austin as well. We were first in free practice 3, but then in qualifying with the rain, it kind of messed it up a little bit. But we knew we were fast. We just needed a clean run, and me and Alex, we did it really well. And we know we have a strong pace for the race. We're confident that we can be as good as qualifying and be fighting for the podium.
A grid penalty for G-Drive Racing leaves an empty spot on the grid, and that also meant a promotion for KCMG to pole in the LMP2 class. Remember, these guys took victory in Austin and they're hungry for more success.
In Austin, we were not great in qualifying. We were behind them, but then we came out and won the race in the end, even before they had the technical issues. So, no surprise, and it's good news for us to get the pole position.
To the second row of the grid, and here the first of the Audis. The number 2 car lines up behind its rivals Porsche and Toyota after they failed to top the timings in qualifying. Benoit Treluier tells us about the concerns for the race that looms.
The grip is pretty low from the beginning of the weekend, so it's going to be for sure a key point, a degradation, and then we'll see. It's a very long straight here with a very tight corners around, so you have to deal with downforce and everything, and it's a bit hard for tires.
Just ahead, in second position, it's the number 20 Porsche of Mark Webber, Timo Bernhard and Brendan Hartley. Webber was top in qualifying right until the final few minutes, but as ever in racing, it's not about where you start, but where you finish, and strategy is key.
We see in the past that Audi looked to double stint, Toyota a little bit in the middle, but for us we seem to be a little bit strong on the tyres at the moment, so we're hard on the tyres, so we need to see how the strategy goes. That's where the race will be, obviously, I think, very interesting from a big perspective. I mean, then we see how the pace is in the middle of all of that. Many components, also maybe a little bit of rain at some stage in the race.
The pole position goes to the Toyota number 8 of Buemi and Davidson. With Lapierre not here this weekend, the 2 drivers have a lot of work to do between them if they're to make the fans happy and claim a home victory as well.
Hello and welcome to the Fuji Speedway for the 5th round of the WEC, and as you can see there's lots of local support here in Japan. I'm just going to try and speak to pole sitters, number 8 Toyota. It's their home race. Anthony, hello.
Hello.
It's cold here this morning. You struggled yesterday warming up those tyres. There you go, one last pat from your teammate. You struggled here yesterday warming up those tyres, so what does that mean for you here at the start?
Yeah, it's a bit cooler now than when I did my long run on Friday. Similar temperatures to the end of qualifying, where Sebastian was struggling to get the temperature back in the tyres, but give it 5 or 6 laps, he'll be all right. I think we're fighting cars that perhaps have better warm-up, but I genuinely feel that based on my long run on Friday, we have a car to win the race. We just got to stay out of trouble and keep calm, even if we lose a few places on the opening laps. If we have no dramas and no bad luck, I think we can win today.
Start of the formation lap for the 6 hours of Fuji.
The race is ready to begin, and Henri Pescarolo, the Grand Marshal, waves them off on their formation lap. We can see the starting grid there, and of course it is Sebastian Buemi alongside Mark Webber on the front row. Mark Lieb is in 3rd position with Kazuki Nakajima in 4th, and on row 3 it's Andre Lotterer alongside Duval. Row 4 it's the Rebellion Racing cars. And on row 5 we see the first of the LMP2 cars with KCMG alongside SMP Racing. Then it's the next of the SMP Racing cars and a G-Drive. Then we see the number 9 Lotus alongside the Aston. And on row 8 it's an Aston Porsche pairing of Turner and Pilet. Row 9 it's the AF Corsa duo. And there are thousands upon thousands of fans here, all eager to see the start of this 6-hour race here in Fuji. Cars come down at the start and finish line then as they wait for the lights to go out, and it's the start of a 6-hour countdown, and a fantastic start it is for the Toyota and the Porsche at the front there as they're side by side into turn 1. That's the number 8 Toyota just ahead of the Porsche, and just creeping in there is the Audi as well. Look at that, the battle at the beginning of the race, absolutely incredible. And if we can just keep an eye there to see who is taking the lead at this point, it's the Porsche ahead of the Toyota, ahead of the Audi. Still close in the GT class as well, as we see a coming together of the 2 Aston Martins, and that's also collected the number 92 Porsche. Bad news for them at this point in the race, and still only 30 seconds in. We're looking at the number 20 Porsche ahead of the number 2 Audi and then the number 8 Toyota. Number 8 managing to pass the Audi again under the hybrid power. Look at that, 3 abreast as they come down towards the left-hand corner, and now the Audi just creeping ahead. As celebrations, of course, in the pits. So, just 1 minute gone in this race, and Buemi now passes Lotterer once again to regain the lead already. So it's Buemi from Lotterer from Webber for the top 3 in the LMP1 category, and now Webber challenging Lotterer once again on the inside of that corner. Has he got past? Yes, he has. So once again, the positions are changing dramatically in the opening stages of this race here in Fuji. Things couldn't be more different from how they were last year in very wet typhoon conditions. Well, the weather's holding off for us so far, and here you can see already the Audi of Lotterer is slowing down.
Sorry, I messed up. The first stop was a mess. Didn't expect so much consumption.
Well, apologies to the team. Lotterer claiming to be at fault there, just pushing the car too hard and losing the hybrid power on the opening lap. Well, there you can see he's making his way up through the Rebellion Racing traffic already, and he's put himself in the middle of the 2 red prototypes. Well, here is the number 92 Porsche that we saw in contact in the early stages of the race with the Aston Martin, and they've had a tyre change and they're back out, although looking now, there are still problems with the bodywork in contact with the tyre, and they're going to have to turn back to the pits, I believe. Here the battle in the GTE Pro category. AF Corsa number 51 just ahead of the number 99 Aston Martin of Rees. Now that's exactly the start that Tony Verlander was hoping Jimmy Bruni would get, having gone from 5th up to 1st in the race already. And now we're looking at a mirror battle almost in the GTE AM category. That's number 61 and 95. That's Team Blickmolen. And just behind them is Bertolini in the number 81 car coming through the traffic. An early pit stop then for Mark Webber in the number 20 car. I've only done 16 minutes of this race and there is only 1 tyre being changed. That's a puncture that they are repairing in that car, a slow puncture, and it's put them completely off kilter for their pit stops. Mark Webber leaves the pits and rejoins the race as we join the LMP2 battle for the lead in their category, G-Drive Racing, and just alongside them and about to tuck in behind them the KCMG racing car as well. That is Imperatori and Pla in those 2 cars respectively, and as they come down that long pit straight, 1.4 kilometres, forcing the KCMG car over towards the pit wall and then moving back across to allow him room. Well, the number 47 car has got the tow, and he's managed to get through on the inside into turn 1, giving KCMG the lead for now in the LMP2 category. Just a little bit of dust kicked up off the back of Pla's car as he brakes heavily into the corner. And here we see, again, a lap later, the cars almost mirror imaging the move that they had before, but this time it's G-Drive Racing who are getting ahead of KCMG as the Lotus LMP1 car just made their way clear of the pairing, dueling there for position. Once again into turn 1, 47 ahead of 26. And now in traffic and contact between the number 90 car, I believe that was, and the KCMG car, but both continue. Heavy traffic now. We're seeing a mix of LMP2, LMP1 and GT cars around this Fuji circuit. And you can see now how important this battle is as we just see the Ferrari trying to keep clear but putting himself in between the two LMP2 cars, and Olivier Pla almost having to slow to a stopping point there. And that's just going to give KCMG a little bit of space to hopefully breathe and move away from this battle. On board now with Loic Duval as we see him just pass the GTE Ferrari and putting the pressure on as they make their way round this corner. So G-Drive up the inside of the Ferrari of Jimmy Bruni, and Jimmy Bruni just running wide ever so slightly there. But as Pescarolo told us earlier in the weekend, there's plenty of runoff.
Fuji is a very safe circuit because all the new parts of the circuit are a lot slower and there is a lot of room around, and it's a very safe track. I prefer the very fast corner, but now all the new circuits are like that, you know, you have a long straight and quite a lot of slow corners, you know. I don't like so much, you know, but that's the way the evolution, you know, it's less dangerous and it's better for TV. Also, you can see the cars easier than if it's 300 kilometers on the straight, you know. Personally, I prefer the fast bend, you know.
With Kazuki Nakajima, who is closing in on the lead car of the other Toyota, the number 8, driven by Sebastian Buemi. And of course, this is his home circuit. He's hungry for a win here in front of the fans, and Toyota are absolutely owning this race so far, with just over 30 minutes already completed. The number 7 car closing in on the number 8 car as they come through traffic and down the start and finish straight. Buemi just seems to have that little bit more power along the straight. We see the Toyota flags waving from the fans, really enjoying this spectacle that they have here. And now contact, that's the number 47 car, that's the KCMG car that's been battling for the lead in the LMP2s against G-Drive, and that has allowed G-Drive to take the lead and extend that somewhat as well. Disappointing for KCMG. Pit stop then for Buemi. This will be his first stop, and it's a driver change. They are only doing a single stint.
It was quite difficult. The temperature is very low and we don't have much grip, so the cars are sliding a lot. But at the end it was okay, you know. We are going for the championship, so we hope we can, you know, keep in front of the Audis.
So after the first round of pit stops and almost 1 hour completed, it's Mark Webber who leads here at the Speedway in Fuji. Toyotas, though, closing in on him and still so close together on track. As we see them in second and third. Number 8 still just ahead of number 7. So Davidson now driving the number 8 car and putting on a charge.
Fuel low, fuel low. Acknowledge fuel alarm, acknowledge fuel alarm. Okay, Mark, box of fuel, box of fuel. Press box button, box of fuel.
So Mark Webber having to box very quickly there as he's struggling for fuel. Look how quickly he slowed down to that 60-kilometre line. Very quick indeed under braking there. So he's completed 48 laps and now he's due to, I believe, stay in the car for a double stint from Porsche. So while those pit stops take place, Toyota regain the lead from Porsche. That's the number 8 car. And here we can see Webber leaving the pit lane. He's going to join it just alongside the Audi. Will he get ahead? We'll see as they come into turn 1. No, he's going to have to slot in just behind the number 2 Audi. So Mark Webber now chasing down the Audi of Andre Lotterer. Remember, he had problems earlier on in the race, but he's certainly managing his race far better now. He's got his head together and he's put on the charge. Although there, as he comes into the pits, look how close he got to the barrier, almost just kissing it as he comes on through, slowing very quickly once again as he enters the 60-kilometre zone and into the pits. Webber outbraking himself. That's something you don't expect to see from a driver of Webber's calibre. And as he just comes into the corner there, braking just a little bit too heavy and locking up and letting the Audi through. So here we see Mark Webber continue in the number 20 Porsche, and in the pits it's the Audi of Lotterer. He's staying in the car, so let's hear from Dr. Ulrich.
There is no issue, we just try to use the tires to the maximum, but we always go as fast as we can.
So we can expect you to push? We can expect to see you pushing?
Yeah, for sure. There is no other way. We are lacking so much top speed on the straight, so we only can try to catch it back in the fast corners, and there where we push like crazy.
Push like crazy, I'm sure, and that is De Grassi just being passed by Mark Webber onto the start-finish straight, and that's where they are lacking most of their power, according to Dr. Ulrich. And you can see it's a long straight. That's a long way to be going, and losing distance as they are. There's Mark Webber locking up once again into the right-hander and again letting an Audi through. He must have a problem with the brakes or with the tyres at this point, I should imagine. I know there has been trouble over the course of the weekend with the cooling temperatures and getting the correct grip into the tyres. Rejoin the action at the Fuji Speedway and a replay of contact between 8 Star Motorsport and Dalai Lana in the Aston Martin. Well, they've continued as they come round here, being passed by the Toyota. You can just see, Dalai Lana spins just a little bit too much pressure perhaps, and braking just a little bit too late, locks up into the corners, but somehow manages not to collect anybody. Davidson very, very lucky there to avoid any contact, and just that Porsche running wide behind him. G-Drive then, our LMP2 class leaders are in the pit, and that's a full pit stop after 60 laps completed for the number 26 car. So let's hear from Olivier Plan.
Yeah, the moment is not so bad. We lost a lot of time in the first stint behind Imperatori, especially with Rossiter, who was quite slow with P1. So as we are a little bit down on straight line speed compared to the Oreca, it's difficult to pass. But he made a small mistake and I could take the lead. But after, the pace was good. The car is really good, not using the tires too much. I can be very consistent with the tires. So at the moment it's looking good, but it's just the beginning.
Well, we can see them back out on track now, and still the battle continues. G-Drive Racing and KCMG, and now SMP Racing involved in that battle as well, as SMP now get ahead of G-Drive to take that second position, leaving KCMG to just extend their lead slightly at the front of the pack. Here we join Mark Webber and Stefan Sarrazin, and Sarrazin gets past Webber. Can he hold that position? It looks like Webber is going to challenge around the outside of this corner here. He's just pushing alongside. He's really got the power on. And as they come past the GT Porsche, it's Sarrazin who gets back past Webber to confirm his position and his dominance in this race. Bernhard then standing by to take over from Webber in the pits. Here he is. He's been in the car for 2 hours and 9 minutes. He had a slow puncture early on in the race. He had a couple of lockups under braking, but essentially that has been a fantastic stint for the first third of this race. And let's hear from Mark Webber now.
Well, we had a puncher, so we didn't want to stop like that, but the first part of the race was going very well. Putting good pressure on the Toyota, and then the left rear, we got a puncher, so we had to try something different, and then we tried the double stint the tyres, which didn't really work, so we had to try a bit of a gamble when we lost so much time. The car is pretty quick when we single stint the tyres, but when we double stint, it doesn't look that easy.
Well, another of the pit stops now. This is the Audi of Lotterer. Lotterer is out and Trelouier is now in. So let's see what Andre Lotterer has to say about his stint.
The strength is our race pace. We can use the tire quite well, and when there's more rubber coming on the track, it's better for us. So that's the case. but still, it's a little bit of a long way to the top, but we're fighting.
And fighting too are the AF Corsa duos there, Rion and Bruni, number 71 versus number 51. The two cars very, very close on circuit now, and it looks like Bruni has closed the gap and is ready to pounce, but no, Rion has closed the door through the corner there, and just very aggressive driving, not letting him through. So Bruni needs to wait for the right moment to pounce, and pounce he will. He's a very experienced driver, although he has been warned for track limits already throughout the course of this race, so he needs to be careful with his line. And there he goes. The position is confirmed on the graphic. It's Bruni now ahead of Rion. The number 26 car is in the pit then. That was the leader in the LMP2 category, but while they've pitted, that has now passed the lead to KCMG. So let's hear from Alex Imperatori.
It was a nice battle. I can't lie, I quite enjoyed it. But it was quite unfortunate really to have the Lotus in the mix. I mean, he was really getting in our way, and it was quite tough because I couldn't get away from him. And at the same time, I had Olivier Pla behind me, and he was pushing hard. So it was really balanced not to lose the lead. And I was kind of getting frustrated with the Lotus, and eventually in traffic, we managed to get ahead and stay ahead. So from that point onwards, it was a bit easier, but I'm sure the spectators enjoyed it.
We join now a replay. Victor Scheiter in the number 37 SMP car going around the outside of the number 9 Lotus and spinning and just collecting the back of the car. I thought he was going to avoid him, but he didn't. That's caused damage to the back of Scheiter's car, causing him to come into the pits and the team ready to make the necessary repairs. And that has caused a full course yellow.
It's a full course yellow. My problem is at pit entry road. We are under full course yellow.
Race director Eduardo Freitas then calling a full course yellow, which essentially means that is one step before a safety car, which is not deemed necessary on this occasion, but time to clear the debris. And now taking advantage during the yellows, the Audi number 1 pits. That'll be De Grassi out and Tom Christensen getting in. So let's hear from Lucas De Grassi.
Quite a good track to be driving, but of course this track faces some challenges for us, bigger than others, but Audi is a great team. I'm sure the race is still a long time to go, so we're going to do our best to achieve the best result possible.
Well, from one former Formula 1 driver to another, Sebastian Buemi looking on. How hard is it to make that transition?
The only problem, you know, for a Formula 1 driver to come in endurance is to be 2 or 3 in the same car. They have to find the best compromise about the setup of the car, because when you are in Formula 1, you think only to you, you know. When you are in endurance, in the WEC, you must think first of all the team. So it's better and quicker for the car to have, for a Formula 1 driver, a car which is not perfect for him, but which is perfect for the 3 drivers. And at the end, the result will be better. That's only a different way to think.
Well, they seem to be thinking in the correct way in the leading number 8 Toyota at the moment, as we join them back on track.
Gap is 6.4 on Alex, 32 on Bernard, 1 minute on Christensen. Good job. Situation under control.
Well, 3 hours of this race now completed, and leading in the LMP1, it's Toyota number 8 from Toyota number 7. G-Drive Racing lead the LMP2 category, and the number 99 Aston Martin leads in the GTE Pro. For GTE AM, it's the number 95 Aston that heads up that category. As ever here at the Fuji Speedway, the WEC have put on a fantastic roadshow for the fans. Whether you come to enjoy the trackside action and enjoy the endurance atmosphere, or whether you prefer to step away and enjoy behind the scenes, where there's computer animations, fun for the children of all ages, and souvenirs to be collected. The fans have also spent time collecting autographs, of course, from the drivers, and enjoyed some of the catering on offer here at Fuji. But on track, we've seen some of the closest racing to date, and the action has been absolutely immense and the atmosphere once again is electric. Back to the action then. 2 hours and 47 remain of this 6-hour race, and we join the Audi number 2 car for a pit stop. It doesn't look like it's going to be a driver changeover on this point. And we can see there, as things stand, it's still Toyota, Audi number 1. But during that pit stop, the third one they've made in this race, those positions could still change.
I have no power suddenly. No power. Okay, copy, Romain, copy. Okay, try to manual boost. Doesn't work. Okay, it works again.
Relief there from Dumas as he now manages to reset the system on the car where he was losing power. Remember, he had a similar problem back in Spa, and that's just one of the problems that the teams do have to face with the evolution of endurance racing.
Actually, everybody thinks only save fuel, you know, and save the atmosphere, you know. So the ACO and the FIA had a new regulation in which they ask the manufacturer to be at the same average speed on the circuit with a fuel consumption 30% less, you know. That was quite difficult, you know, and it's something very interesting for a manufacturer. For sports, you know, I don't think it's very important. You know, the main thing for spectators, it's not to know that it's 30% less fuel consumption. It's to have real fight on the track. But there is real fight on the track. So in the same time, they save money, they save fuel consumption. So I think it's a good evolution.
Well, we join now the number 7 Toyota on track. 2 hours and 23 minutes remain in this 6-hour endurance race, and both of the Toyotas are in the pits. That now is a driver change for the number 7 car. So that's Wirtz out and Nakajima in, and the number 8 car released. Davidson's out of the car. Let's hear from him.
Well, they keep telling me that everything's under control. I'm not quite sure what that means, but yeah, I was out there just pushing every lap, and you just got to take your time through traffic and not take too many risks. Yeah, it's pretty tricky around here.
Join now the GTE AM battle, the Aston Martins of Poulsen and Nygaard, 1-2 in their category, and they are literally nothing between them as they come down the start-finish straight. That's Nygaard in the number 98 car on the left-hand side of your screen. He's on the inside of Poulsen and into the corner, turn 1. He's taken the position. That's a change of position then in the lead in the GTE AM category. And the battle continues between the Aston Martins. The Rebellion racing car, that's number 12, has pulled off to the side of the circuit. They've not had a great start to this weekend. They had a few problems over the course of free practice and qualifying, and here they just seem to have stopped. I know they've had problems with the engine cutting out, and that's disappointing for Rebellion. They'll have to get the car back to the pits. Back in the pits now with number 20 Porsche. Due in for another driver change, and with 1 hour 52 minutes remaining, that should be the last one that we see. Let's hear from Timo Bernhard.
Yeah, well, in the beginning we had our car, we had a puncture, so we had to do that extra stop. I hope that at the end of the day, with that luck, maybe we can save that stop again at the end. We'll have to see. I mean, at the moment we're fighting with a sister car. I hope we can get back to the podium. That would be really good. I mean, we had the pace, and we were really good in traffic. I think, we're fighting for that podium.
Here the number 61 car that Brett Curtis is sharing with Bleekmolen, and this is the first time that he's driven a Ferrari, race or road.
It's really nice to be with AF Corse. I've been racing against them a lot and finally with them. The car's running well. I think for moments we were the quickest GTM car out there. But we'll see what happens. We've lost a bit of ground, so we're hanging 6th. It's going to be tough to get to the podium, but you never know. Still 1.5 hours to go. I will go in next and we'll push hard to the finish.
Well, his first race in the Ferrari, but he looks very relaxed, I have to say. And now we join the Aston Martin number 99, who is first in class. Daryl O'Young in this one. And he's got a fair lead between himself and the number 51 AF Corse. As ever in the World Endurance Championship, some very close and very exciting action here at the Fuji Speedway. And now we're on board with the number 8 Toyota lead car in this one, who is looking to lap the number 20 Porsche up ahead of him. That's Brendan Hartley at the wheel of that Porsche, remember now. And Brendan, a very experienced driver, both in single-seaters and now in endurance. He's adapted himself very well this season in that Porsche, and he's certainly settled down. So the Audi number 1 now comes in for a pit stop, and it's another of the driver changes. So that's going to be Tom Christensen out of the car and Loic Duval that gets in. And there they go as they leave a nice and tidy pit stop. Look at how uneven the ground is there on that pit lane. Well, fans looking on as always, and now on board with the Porsche 911 number 91, chasing down the Aston Martin number 99 ahead of him, and looking to hopefully get close enough to make a challenge for that position. The Porsche Mantley on the radio.
Jörg, gap is less than 2 seconds. Less than 2 seconds. Keep pushing. Tight.
Nice encouragement there from the team, and let's hear from Toyota.
And box is lap, pit confirmed, driver change for Anthony.
Well, Toyota calling in for another pit stop, and Davidson clearly standing by to take over for the final stint of this race, I should imagine, with just 1 hour and 20 minutes remaining. So it's a full set of tyres on the car. A nice quick pit stop and they're out. And here we can see Oak Racing making a lovely welcome return to the WEC this weekend. And Keiko Aihara, a local Japanese driver, has just got out of the car, handing over to Yakaman to do the final stint.
You are in third position?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really? Yeah. I didn't know that.
Keiko looking very surprised to hear that she's come in third position, and there the car is out on track with the SMP Racing car number 27 just passing by on the inside. And that is a battle for third position as they come now side by side into the right-hand corner. Who could get the edge here? The SMP Racing car number 27 just pushing ahead. And Zlobin just inside on the inside of the corner, and now as Yakaman goes through, collected just slightly by Zlobin. I'm not sure whose fault that was, but that is disastrous for the Oak Racing car and as well for SMP, but both cars able to rejoin and maybe continue that battle for third. Replay then as we see the cars side by side into the left-hander and just getting the edge, the Oak Racing car, and clipped then by the SMP Racing car of Zlobin. Well, drama out on track there for the LMP2s, and drama now on the pit lane. That's the number 9 Lotus car of Bushu that is well and truly on fire and parked up, and the marshals desperately trying to get that fire out.
I was driving the car, and then suddenly I could smell some bad smoke inside the car. So it was just the corner before the spec line, so I called the team and said just, okay, I pit because it seemed like it is anomaly. And then just exit the corner, I suddenly lot of fire inside the car. And then I turned my head to see what happened. And then suddenly all the cockpit was really in fire, like middle of big fire. So my hair start to burn, a little bit. I just close my visor and then take you to my helmet. I think he could save my eyes, and I just stopped the car at the entrance of the pit, and the car was completely all in fire.
Well, very well managed, I think, there from Bushu, who managed to get himself out of the car as we rejoin the action out on the circuit now. G-Drive Racing leading the LMP1 category, and Roman Rushanov has just got out of the car, so let's hear from him.
I think it's most important to watching, because now I had quite a difficult one because we get a lot of degradation on the tires, but I could manage it till the end. And then 5 laps before I get the alarm from the radio that the full course yellow, but it was a mistake from race director I heard. So we lose 10 seconds in the operation, so I thought it's not going to cost us a victory.
Well, here we join now the leading GTE Pro car, the number 51 car of Bruni and Valander. And Jimmy Bruni has recently got out of the car to hand it over to his teammate to bring the car home for the finish. Let's hear from him.
We still have 40 minutes to go, 42 minutes, so fingers crossed.
Tony now is in the car. Let's see after the checkered flag where we are finished.
Well, Jimmy Brewini looking fairly calm as he watches the rest of the race unfold. There's nothing he can do, of course, as Verlander is in the car now. There is the number 14 Porsche of Mark Lieb, and just behind him, the number 20 car of Brendan Hartley, who appears to be lapping much faster at this point in the race. They've had a more recent pit stop, and they're closing in on the 14 car.
Okay, Brendan, when you catch a mark in front of you, you're clear to pass, you're clear to pass. Okay, copy that.
Well, team orders there allowing Brendan to pass Lieb as he approaches. And of course, this is all about tactics now for the end of the race, to get the right car on the podium, to look towards the championship at this point in the season. So on board with the 14 car, and we can see that Brendan has passed, and now we join the LMP2 battle. Now this was a battle between the same two cars earlier on in the race. It's like deja vu once again, as KCMG, the number 47 car, just ahead of G-Drive Racing. And in fact, we've got the same drivers on board for the final stages of this race. Olivier Pla putting on all the pressure behind Imperatori in the 47 car as he comes side by side, and just between them, one of the GT Porsches there, and now G-Drive up the inside get ahead of the number 47 KCMG car to take the lead at this late stage in the LMP2 category. 22 minutes remaining, and that was a crucial move for Pla to make at this point in the race. So 10 minutes remain. There's your race leader, the number 8 Toyota. That's Anthony Davidson at the wheel of this one for the final part of this 6-hour race. And in fact, he's actually lapping 1.5 seconds a lap faster than anybody else out there on the circuit at the moment. He's got a 9-second lead from his teammate Sarazan, and still hoping to bring this home for a win. GTE Pro classification then, and it's still the 51 car ahead of 71. The two AF courses, Verlander ahead of James Collado, and McDowell just in third in the Aston Martin. Rebellion Racing, car number 13. A disappointing race for his teammate number 12 car, but to bring this one home will make for a very happy Rebellion Racing team. And so the clock is counting down, 3 minutes remaining, and we're ready to finish 6 hours of awesome racing here on the Fuji Speedway. And it's Anthony Davidson in the number 8 Toyota who's going to cross the line, the winner.
Job, Anthony. Fantastic job this weekend. Well done, well done. Yeah! Toyota, baby! Go on yourself!
Celebrations all round for Toyota as they celebrate not just the victory, but the second place as well. And the fans absolutely delighted for Toyota racing on their home circuit.
We knew we had a strong car. It was amazing, you know, to have such a dominant car in the race. But car 7 kept us honest and we couldn't relax. Although I think they would have been a little bit kind to us if they did close the gap. But you always want to show your speed as a driver and as a car crew. So it was a good fight that we had.
And a great fight as well in the LMP2 class, where G-Drive Racing confirmed that they were the winners after all. Second place goes to the KCMG, and in third, Oak Racing.
It's a fantastic win. We had a difficult race in Austin, so it's the first victory for the Ligier. I think now we have to do all take the point for the pole position and to win all the race if we want to win the championship.
And after a disappointing start to the weekend, it was victory once again for the number 51 Ferrari of Bruni and Verlander. Second place to AF Corsa number 71, and in third the Aston Martin Racing Team 99.
Before the race, I was trying to see what it can be, what could be the start, and I tried to imagine where I should pass the others. And it works. I did everything I was expected to do, all the moves I did to the others on the turn 1. So it's very, very good. I'm so happy for Ferrari, for my teammates, the team 1-2. It's great.
Well, the GTE AM celebration goes to Christian Poulsen, Heinemeyer Hansen, and Tim in the Aston Martin number 95. Second place, another of the Aston Martins, number 98, and third place to Pro Speed competition.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was a really good weekend. We struggled a little bit yesterday on the qualifying, but we knew for the race we had a good car, so yeah, it was really fantastic.
Well, time for the podium of the final race winners, and in third place, of course, it was the Porsche number 20. Second place, it's the number 7 Toyota, and on the top step, celebrating their third victory here in a row with Toyota, it's the number 8 car, the duo of Davidson and Buemi. And the celebrations, of course, also honouring the fact that Toyota now lead the championship once again. And celebrations continue behind the scenes at Toyota, as of course they celebrate the 1-2 victory at their home race here at Fuji Speedway.
Yeah, it's a fantastic. Yeah, after two frustrated race, yeah, today's a day for Toyota. Everybody very happy, include the Japanese fans. There's many Japanese fans. It's like our home race.
Overall classification then, and it was a Toyota 1-2, Porsche 3-4 and Audi 5-6. G-Drive Racing finished ahead of KCMG in the LMP2, while Rebellion Racing won their class. AF Corsa topped the standings in the GTE Pro, and in GTE AM it was Aston Martin 1-2.
The next round of the WEC is in Shanghai, China.
A sprint during 6 hours.
WEC is in China.
Teamwork.
Speed and strategy are key.
No mercy.
World Endurance Championship.
We are ready. What about you?